Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has begun distributing sensitive and non-sensitive materials from the LGAs to the registration area centers for final deployment to the polling units across Anambra State ahead of Saturday governorship elections. News Central correspondent Austin Azu, who is monitoring the exercise in Nnewi North and South LGAs, reports that the materials, including the bimodal voters accreditation system, forms the EC8A and forms EC8B, are being escorted by security agencies. More than 2.8 million registered voters are expected to participate in the exercise, as 16 candidates from 16 political parties are contesting with the incumbent Governor Chukwuma Soludo. Let's now join our correspondents who have been on the ground and well prepared to take on the coverage assignment in the Saturday polls are coming. Now, joining us, we have Austin, Victor, and also Chinwe, who will be joining us to, well, give us a situation report. Fellas, you're welcome, and Chinwe, welcome as well. Austin, I'm going to be starting with you. Let's talk about the election readiness. INEC says all materials and personnel are now in place for Saturday's elections. From what you've seen on ground, how ready is INEC really, both logistically and in terms of security coordination? Austin.
Okay, good evening, Zeno. Of course, INEC has reiterated these statements for the past few days about their readiness. And of course, from the headquarters down to the various local government areas that we have visited, we saw those materials on ground and equally saw how they are dispersing them from the LGA level down to the collation centers. But nevertheless, when you talk about logistics, over the years we have experienced where we'll see a large, queue of vehicles outside waiting patiently for them to transport INEC staff and materials from the rack center to the polling unit. Oftentimes, it might be as a result of probably most of the drivers, oftentimes they protest over not payment of upfronts, and subsequently maybe based on the negotiating power, probably what they have negotiated before might be different from what will be given to them on the field. So oftentimes we do experience this kind of delay in terms of logistics. But we anticipate that this kind of setback will not be experienced tomorrow. Otherwise, what INEC has told Nigerians and residents of Anambra State will be a total brutality. But what we have seen on ground, it shows that yes, INEC have dots their I's and crossed their T's, just waiting for tomorrow to come for them to move to the polling units to go and do what they are expected to do. And residents across the state are quite anticipating as well for them to go to the poll tomorrow.
Well, thank you, Austin. Chinwe, let me come to you, or rather, Victor, let me come to you next. Security concerns. Now, we know Anambra has battled sit-at-home orders and pockets of violence in recent times. How visible are security operatives ahead of the polls? And what's the general mood among voters or people that you have met? Are they confident enough to come out with the security situation? Victor.
Oh, well, as you could tell, of course, I'm in the state capital, Awka, where most of the elites stay. And let me first of all tell you that from what I've observed from the faces of electorates, residents of this state, they don't seem bothered or worried about any security breaches or tension that could arise as a result of the election. So, but though some of them clearly said they were not going to be part of the elections, that's out of the security matter based on what the turnout of elections basically. So, so let's start with that basically. So again, like I said earlier, this is the first time we're going to have a situation where police operatives, security, other sister agencies of the security network will be deploying about 60,000 or over 50,000 of them for a governorship election. The last time in terms of figure, we only had about 35,000. And then you look at, for instance, what happened in Edo State, you had about just 15,000. So, but this is just over 50,000. That's a whole lot. Maybe because possible uprisings from non-state actors. And of course, the Commissioner of Police in charge of this state election is not going to, allow or make any mistake of any sort. But something again is surprising. All local security outfits in Anambra State will not be part of that election. Whether it's Aguni Chamber or whatever local outfits, it will not be part, except for the police, the army, the military, customs, NSCDC, basically. So if it is local security outfit, they won't clearly be part. You must also know that it's, like I said, it's a litmus test for Joash Amokpito. First big assignment for him.
Well, we might have lost Victor, but we will come back to him. Chinwe, it's your turn now. I apologize for leaving you till last. They did say ladies first, but I guess I'm leaving the best for last. Chinwe, sensitive materials now, they were reportedly moved on the heavy escort today. Are there any reports of delays or protests or tampering in the distribution process across the 21 local government areas that you've heard?
Oh, there's no such news, there's no such report. So far, everything has been taken care of by the electoral umpire, and the materials, the sensitive materials, like we did see at the local government INEC office here in Agwata, they are there intact, and there were ad hoc staff waiting to transport their own materials to their various units where they will be carrying out their assignments tomorrow. So basically, there has been no report of any disagreements or feeling of that the exercise is not transparent enough. So far, the sensitive materials are intact, and there has been no complaints whatsoever from opposition.
Anyway, let's talk about zoning. This is your area. Zoning remains a very touchy subject in this area now. And I'm wondering how this has played in. How has it shaped the tone of campaigns and voter alignment? Are people still voting along zonal lines, do you think?
Well,
Chinwe, please.
Zoning is an issue that actually started with the political parties. And this time around, I think who have decided to, go beyond that line. They are looking at individuals right now. But then also, if the zoning favors any particular set of people, they are definitely going to toe that path. But whether we can do away with zoning, I do not think so, because there are still people who believe that if you do not zone, their community will never ever produce any governor because of probably the population of the area, or because they do not have the wherewithal to pursue their dreams. So zoning is something that it cannot jettison so easily in this part of the world. But then there are lots of people who wouldn't want to toe that path. They just want to look at the individuals and vote.
Thank you, Chinwe. Austin, if you're still there, I'm sure you're still there. In past elections, the state has recorded very low voter turnout. We also heard Victor from before, who is in the state capital, and tells that, well, what his experience has been is that the elite are saying that they might not be part of this election. But from your conversations with locals, do you sense any shift in attitude this time? Are voters still largely indifferent, or are they committed?
Well, I would say they are committed in their speeches, but we don't know if they will be committed with their actions tomorrow. Because from the time past, we have seen a lot of persons who pledged this that they will go to the poll tomorrow to go and cast their votes. And nevertheless, you keep seeing most of them, the lukewarm attitude, not coming out to come and vote anymore, because some of them have these obnoxious belief, and some of them still believe that their votes will not count. So based on that premises, most of them tend not to go to the poll. Then secondly, at the end, some of them actually wait for the negotiating power to get higher before they will go to the poll tomorrow. Don't forget, the horse trading is ongoing. The votes buying is ongoing at the moment. Behind the camera, you won't see many of them on the field. But nevertheless, some of them have started trading their, their votes already. How much are you going to pay me, the political agent, and vis-a-vis? So it's ongoing. And this is something that INEC has frowned against, and even, observers are equally frowned against it. But most of those vote buying are not happening in the public domain, because from the observations, most of them raised, seems that during the voting process, you see some people after, thumbprinting, they will come with the ballots and they will just display it as if they are going to drop it inside the box. But these are some of the intricacies that most of them are using to show that yes, I'm voting, and someone somewhere is just monitoring the process, and the person will just take and send a message across to the payer to just accredit that particular person. So most of them, we don't know if what they have said will translate to their actions tomorrow. But particularly, a lady raised a concern that because of her previous experience during the voting process, that her vote was not counted. Probably the candidate she voted for did not secure the seat. Because of that, she have vowed not to go to the poll again to go and vote. And we have so many people like that who have made up their mind not to go to the poll tomorrow.
All right,
but
Austin,
we're expecting to see the numbers coming out to come and vote tomorrow, because indeed.
Austin, I wish I could take more of these stories, but we are out of allotted time for this segment. But thank you very much, Austin. Thank you very much, Victor. And last but not least, thank you very much, Chinwe, for joining us on Tonight.